Hi, I'm Kevin Creighton with AmmoMan.com. Today on the School of Guns, it's the beanbag round. Now, beanbag rounds are another product of British troops in Northern Ireland who used them during the Troubles there to, deal with the riots up there. And they're actually in quite common use by American law enforcement today as a way to subdue suspects who who are violent, but not necessarily lethally violent. You'll see it quite often when somebody, is trying to, do suicide by cop or something like that. They'll shoot a beanbag round at them, and they hurt. And we'll show in the testings here. These things deliver a wallop, and it'll take them down that way to put cuffs on them. And we'll talk about why police do that and how that affects us here in a little bit. But let's talk about what's inside the beanbag round here first. Well, it basically is what it says it is. There's about an inch square beanbag filled with, very fine lead balls in there, lead shot. There's a tiny little charge of powder in there, and it basically kicks out the bag. Bag opens up on impact to form a square, and it thumps the target pretty solidly. And to figure out just how much of a thump it does, we're going to shoot this into 2 blocks of ballistic gel, which is an industry standard medium for testing how lethal and how much penetration a round does inside the target. We're going to shoot 1 block of ballistics gel that has 4 layers of heavy cloth in front of it to simulate heavy clothing or heavy parka. And the other one we're going to shoot will just be the gel itself to simulate bare skin. So it was kind of fun. When we shot this into the cloth, it made quite a wallop. You can see it there. That's impressive. I'm sorry. It moved that gel is not light. It moved it back, what, 3-4 inches? Yeah, ouch. And it was kind of fun actually when I did my, my chronograph testing on this. The beanbag inside there only goes about 280 feet per second. I mean, you can basically watch it arc through the air. It's kind of funny. And when I did my chronograph testing on it, I shot the shell and you could hear the pop of the round and you hear this thump about a second later on the 25-yard berm behind it. And it never happened to me before where it was like bang, thump. I had to laugh out loud. It was quite funny. So yeah, these will develop pack a wallop. How to do versus bare skin? Well, you're gonna have to read the rest of the article for that. I'm not gonna tell you everything here. But it's interesting to note that these the beanbag rounds are becoming increasingly popular with American law enforcement. You'll see them being inside the trunk of a patrol car quite often to deal with people who are violent but not necessarily deadly. And let's talk about that for a second. And let's talk about the role of a police officer versus our role as armed citizens. The role of a police officer is quite simple. It's their job to get the suspects and off the streets, to take them into custody, or if they won't go, if they won't do that, well, then they'll have to find other means. And in that situation, actually, yeah, beanbag round or less lethal ammunition in general does make a lot of sense. It's a lot easier to put handcuffs on somebody if they're writhing in pain on the ground than it is if they're trying to kill you. That's just the way it is. So for them, yes, having something like a beanbag round that can deliver what is essentially a very sharp blow at a distance, 10, 15 feet, yeah, wow, that's actually a really useful thing. I mean, let's look at it this way. What's the job of a policeman? The job of a policeman is to subdue a suspect so you can take him into custody one way or another. So for people like that, a beanbag round actually makes a lot of sense. It gives you an opportunity to subdue a suspect, get cuffs on him, bring him back to jail for booking. That's not our job as armed citizens, though. Our job is to break contact and keep our loved ones safe from grievous bodily harm and death. So if we're using a beanbag round, we're using a less lethal situation. So that means we're not facing grievous bodily harm or death. So why are we using this? Secondly, it's not our job to put people in cuffs. It just isn't. So again, why are we using this? It doesn't really make sense for us to use something like this. They're really most less lethal rounds either when you think of it. So does it do the job it's meant to do? Yeah. Is it something that you or I should look at? Probably not. Well, hope you enjoyed this look at less lethal ammunition. As always, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you at the range.